Adam, I think you're thinking on a different wavelength, buddy. I think you're thinking ahead of the show. The show's behind. How's it going? I am the Survivor Dude, and just a quick recap. You might be like, "Oh, dude, where have you been? This, this episode's been out for a little bit. You missed the last one. What the heck have you been?" Well, I have actually, as you can see, I am now a married man, and so yeah, I had to do a bunch of stuff. I lent her my computer for a little bit, which why I couldn't do the editing, and then I was getting married, so didn't have the time to really get into doing this for you, but I am here now, we're ready to go, and so let me give you my thoughts on today's Survivor episode. Now, here's the thing. I think this entire game is resting on the shoulders of 3 players right now. And what I mean is they're the ones driving it together. I think the number 1 player, Sophie, Sarah, they seem to be a good pair. They seem to be in everyone's alliances right now. They seem to be working well with everybody. And they seem to be okay. They seem to be in an okay position. Number 2, I would say, is Jeremy. He's trying to reel some people in. He's trying to get some numbers that he's going to use against Sophie. I feel the war brewing between Sophie and Jeremy. I feel it coming. I think he's trying to get all of his numbers to his side. He's consolidating power, and I think it's all going to be coming to a head next episode. And the number 3 player that I feel like is driving this is Tony. Those are the 3 players I feel like who are in the driver's seat right now in point of who's going home. And I think it's those 3 because Sophie's making sure it's not anyone that she's too close to. Jeremy is trying to make sure that he's able to get some alliance members on his side after the vote is over. And Tony's really pushing hard this, let's make sure these big threats stay in the game so we don't come after each other too early. But besides that, everything else is just manic there. I mean, think about it this way. I'm going to be giving this award of MVP of the night. I'm going to give it early because I want to talk about it. I'm going to be giving it to Nick. And you might be, why Nick? He didn't really do anything. He wanted Sarah gone. I'm giving it to Nick because while everyone else was jumping around and going crazy and whatnot, the reason Adam got voted out was because Nick lied to Tyson and said Sophie was coming after you. Then Tyson brought to everyone else, who do you guys want gone? And Adam then said Sarah. So, yeah, everything that's been happening right now, I think Nick made it so he wasn't going home by doing that one move. And he might not have got the numbers to win, but he did end up staying in the game, and that's the go-to thing to do right now. To stay in the game just a little while longer. I mean, this merge is so crazy because I'm not sure who is the one in control. I do feel like there's a civil war brewing between Sophie and Jeremy. They both have feeled each other out. They both know that the other one is in a good position and is good players, and they're going to be coming after each other really hard. And I think that right now, it all lies kind of on Tony. Think about it this way. Sophie and Sarah are a pair, and Sarah is close to Tony. We got Jeremy and Denise that are kind of a pair. They're also kind of close to Tony. And Kim and whatnot. Kim seems to be keeping her options open, but she didn't want Sarah gone. You know, when Denise came up to Sarah, they're like, I guess it's Sarah. She's like, I'm on board with that. And then she went right to Tyson saying, it cannot be Sarah. So, yeah, my gosh, this whole merge, I don't know what the numbers are, but I think they're going to be coming, I think they're more fluid. Everyone's in voting block mode right now, if you will. Everyone's trying to make sure that they're keeping a pair close and that they're still with the overwhelming group. And I think it's going to be breaking up very soon. I see Nick and Michelle being used as numbers at the next vote. I think the next vote is going to be the one that decides who's going forward in this game. I think they're coming after Jeremy. I think they're coming after Sophie. I think Tony is probably not at risk right now because I think Jeremy wants to work with Tony, and so does... Well, Sophie wants to work with Sarah, and Sarah wants to work with Tony. I dropped my wedding ring. You know, I was kept on thinking that Tony might be in a position where he really doesn't have any numbers to sway, but I think right now he doesn't need to be in control of the game right now. Tony just needs to be in between the alliances that want to work with him. As long as he's not pulling the trigger and shooting everybody down, I really think Tony might be in a good position. You know what, let's just take a moment to apprise everyone's position in this game. Denise has good resume because she knocked out Sandra. She is in good positioning with both Jeremy and Kim. She also has a relationship with Tony, but I don't know how strong that is. It doesn't seem to be too strong. She lost her go-to guy with Adam. She doesn't have that connection anymore. I think she's all in on the Jeremy alliance now. Ben, we did see Ben working with Denise, so she has some options to go with there. On the other end, or not on the other end, we'll just keep going. We got Jeremy. He is working with Denise. He is working with Kim. He's working with Tony. And he's also trying to consolidate Nick on his side. He's trying to get Michelle. I think he has Michelle. I think whoever has the better connection to Michelle has a big power. And I think Jeremy has that better connection to Michelle. The only problem is Sophie has the idol. So if it feels like it's a brewing civil war between Sophie and Jeremy, and they all come for Sophie, and she plays that idol, that's gonna wreck some crap, you know? So, on the other hand, as, who else? Not on the other hand, I don't know why I keep on saying that. Ben is really just a floater right now. I gotta say though, I love that the relationship between Ben and Adam has been so hectic this entire game, and now it's gone to a boiling point to this episode. I mean, all Adam had to do was say Nick's name. All he had to do was be like, Nick was the guy who said you and him were too tight. Or anybody else's name, really. Adam really should have done that. Not that I think it would have really helped. I think that Adam never really had a strong alliance member besides Denise, and Denise isn't a vocal force. Now, Denise is a good player, but Denise isn't the type of player, I think, that can get everyone to turn the vote within a thing. I think she'll be like, okay, that's the plan, I'm good with that. You know, we've seen times where people have, that time when they blindsided Adam and Rob by voting out Ethan. You know, Denise could have told Rob and Adam and told them all what was going on and flipped the script. I don't think that's Denise's style. She likes to not be the driving force. She just likes to be on the right side of the numbers, which is a very good strategy, especially for going far. Nick, he's really not in the greatest spot. I think he doesn't have too many people that he really wants to work with besides Michelle. And Nick is a little bit self-destruct. I think he's really getting a little forceful. He's really trying to get, like there was a moment where Michelle was calming him down, where he's like, why don't I just go and yell at everybody and break it all up? And she's like, don't be an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, Nick, listen to Michelle. Right now, she's being the rational one. And that's coming from a guy who didn't even care for Michelle's win. Not that I say she didn't deserve it. I was just bitter. But anyway, moving on, I think that... Jeez, this is gonna. Okay, let's talk about the advantages, because Adam, I like that they, even though Adam was wrong about the idol, that it was an idol. I think he, just the way Jeff played him too, the way Jeff played him, he's like, I thought it was an idol. How do you know it's not? Can I play that? Can I play that? You want to play this? Yeah, I want to play that. This thing that you can't even take off the podium. Yeah, it's not an idol. Oh, Okay, sorry. My bad. Just like, come on, Jeff. Give the guy a little bit of slack. He could have just been like, sorry, bud, it's not an idol. But no, he had to milk it and get his hopes up and then dash it. That's the Jeff Probst way. I will say everyone had a little bit of a shocked, like, holy crap moment. It would have been interesting to see if anybody else stood up. But moving up to the actual advantage that we saw traded today, the coin flip. Personally, I don't think I would have paid 4 coins for that. I guess she was on the outs. But I just think that it's not something that you can use strategically all that well. You're putting your whole game in a Hail Mary flip of a coin. I mean, if I'm... all right, let me just say, let's pretend like I'm on the chopping block tonight. Heads, I go home. Tails, I stay. You know, and it's just like I walk up and I'm like, all right, guys, let's see how it goes. I guess I stay. But also, I don't think it's like an immunity idol. I think you have to do it before the votes. I don't think they specified, but that would make sense for me. Like, I think it might be too powerful as an idol. Although, if only that little thing was loose, the thing that Adam thought was an idol, I was just thinking, because when I was watching that, I was like, if only it was loose, because then he should have grabbed it before they went up to vote. See, that would have caused some chaos, you know? Be like, just one sec, Jeff. Walks up, yanks it out, sits down. Now everyone's like, uh-oh, what the heck was that? What the heck? I've seen idols like that. That's holy shoot. Adam just grabbed an idol. We got to change the plan. That would have probably been better, but looking at it now, it wouldn't have changed anything. He would have still went up there, tried to grab it, it wouldn't have moved, and he would have gone back down. But, what else? I need to think with my brain, because my brain isn't thinking. I also liked Kim. Congratulations for Kim for winning that immunity idol. You're still one of my winner picks. Both of my winner picks are still in. For those who don't know, I picked before the season started Jeremy and Kim, and both, although Jeremy I think could be in trouble next episode, both are still in the game, and both are doing semi-well at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if they can go far. Now, I was going through every player. I don't think I'm going to finish. Let's keep on going with just some of the more domain characters of this season. Okay, Michelle's coin flip. I think that would be better as a threat. Thinking about it now, it actually would be better to let people know that you have that. That way it's just like, at any point she could do that and wreck our plans. And it wouldn't make sense to go after her unless you can split the votes. Which I guess they can split the votes right now, so it wouldn't be a good idea to do it now. But maybe once it got down to a little bit closer of a grind in numbers, let everybody know that you're not an option. Take yourself off the table, because you could play that anytime, flip a coin, and then you're safe. And then all their plans are ruined. Like, it is random for you, but it's also random for them. You know? It's like, it's Russian roulette, but just as Russian roulette is, dangerous to you on your turn, it can also be dangerous when it's in the other person's hands. So usually they would just like to make sure that they don't pull the trigger, because it could fire on them. Now, Tyson is doing a really good job of staying in there. I think that Nick probably didn't choose the right person to pretend that was going after Tyson, because, well, I don't know, maybe Sarah would be a good choice. It's just that Sarah and Tyson were shown to have a pretty good relationship in the past, and working forward, they probably have at least a good working relationship. I think that Sarah's probably part of that bigger group that Tony's having to keep the big threats together. I think that, like, while we haven't seen her part of that, I don't think Tony's going out of his way to exclude Sarah. There was that great scene where after she gave up her reward for Nick, where Tony's like, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Everyone's going to say you're a threat now. You're using your strategicness. And I think Tony was right, and we saw that he was right. But I think Sarah... I don't want to say she doesn't view things good, because she is very perceptive in a lot of ways. I think that sometimes she just thinks that everyone's going to be working by the same honor system she does, or she doesn't view how other people view her sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it was just a one slip-up thing. But, yeah. I wonder how long Tony's Tony's Lion alliance can last. Because the problem with it, like the good news of it, is that you got bigger players staying into the game longer. But the problem with it is that the bigger players are also the smarter players, so they're bringing alliances to them. They're bringing people alongside with them into their alliance. So while it might keep you all around for now, eventually you're going to need to start going after each other, because you can't be with each other the whole time, and the bigger players know this. We can see it right now, as I said, with Sophie and Sarah and Jeremy and Denise. They're kind of both captains on both sides of this alliance, and I feel they both are trying to lure the stragglers over to their side. I think Jeremy has Michelle, and he might be able to get Nick as well. I think that Adam being gone actually is pretty bad for Sarah's side, because she was pretty good with Adam. Adam was I don't think he was going anywhere. If she'd said, Adam, come with me, he would have said yes. I mean, he might have tried to placate to the other side, but we've seen how bad he is at that sometimes. So I think that overall, I think this probably wasn't a good move for the Sarah-Sophie alliance. But it's a good placating move to keep the whole alliance intact for now. But all right, let's just say the next vote happens and it's a Jeremy versus Sophie thing. We got Jeremy, Denise. Let's say Jeremy, Denise, Ben. We got Sophie, Sarah, and Ben might actually be over here. Okay, Sophie, Sarah, Ben. Jeremy, Denise, and Tyson? Yeah. Oh, but Tyson's gonna be... All right, let's look at who's in the middle. I would say we got Tony, Kim, Tyson. Those would be the ones I think are in the middle. Nick and Michelle, I think, would go over here, so that puts this to 4. And that puts these still at 2. Oh, no, 3. All right. And then there's just Tony, Denise. No, sorry, not Denise. Tony, Kim, and Tyson. So I think it's the Tony, Denise, and Tony, Kim, and Tyson. That's going to be the one that decides it. Because if you have Tony, let's put him over here with this group. Then it's Kim and Tyson. And who would they be better to go through? Kim has been getting good with them. But Tyson, I think, has been good with Sarah and... Sheesh, this could be 5-5. It is. We're at the 10, right? Am I missing anyone? We got Nick, Michelle, Jeremy, Denise, Kim, Tony, Sarah, Sophie... Whatever, I'm losing track. I'm a little tired. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But I think it's gonna be the Tony, Kim, and Tyson that's really gonna decide who goes farther, which side goes farther. And honestly, I don't know which one's gonna end up winning. Anyway, that's really all I got to say. I've already said my MVP. I'm gonna give it to Nick because he got the target off of himself. Because I really think he was gonna go if he didn't do what he did, and it ended up falling onto Adam. Which kind of sucks because I think he wanted to work with Adam a little bit, but now Adam's gone, and I don't think it really hurts him all that much. I've said basically what I think is going to be happening in the next episode, and yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. I think this is a little bit of craziness at the end of Tribal. This is just the beginning. Everything's about to explode from here on out, and who knows who's going to take over. It's going to be a fight to the finish, that's for sure. Thanks for watching. Adios.